sun-drenched kitchen, marble counters gleaming, fresh lilies on the island. The camera pans across framed family photos. Smiling kids, golden retriever, a couple locked in a kiss at sunset. The woman in the photos is radiant, her laugh frozen in time. She is 38, hair in a perfect low bun, wearing the kind of yoga outfit that costs more than most people's rent. This is her Tuesday morning ritual. Pack organic lunches, kiss the kids goodbye, wave at the Tesla pulling out of the driveway. The phone buzzes on the counter. A notification she almost ignores. It's from an app she doesn't recognize. The preview shows a heart emoji and a name. K. Curiosity wins. She taps. The screen fills with messages that stop her breath. Last night was incredible. Same hotel. Room 412. Delete these before she sees. Her fingers tremble. She scrolls up. Months of texts, hotel confirmations, a selfie of her husband, shirt unbuttoned, arm around a woman half his age. The background is the same king bed they picked out together on their 10th anniversary trip. She drops the phone. It clatters against the marble like a gunshot. The lilies tremble in their vase. She storms to his office closet, the one with the hidden safe. The combination is their wedding date. Inside, a second phone, fully charged, locked with a passcode she doesn't know. Receipts spill out like confetti from hell. A boutique hotel in the city, $429 a night. A jewelry store charge for a diamond bracelet she never received. A dinner for two at the rooftop restaurant where he proposed. Her knees buckle. She sits on the hardwood floor, surrounded by the wreckage of her trust. The kids' voices echo from the playroom downstairs, laughing over cartoons. She presses a hand to her mouth to keep the scream inside. That night, he walks in late, tie loosened, cologne masking something sharper. She waits in the dark living room, the second phone glowing on the coffee table like evidence in a crime scene. Who is she? Her voice is steady, a skill honed from years of managing toddler meltdowns. He freezes, the lie forms on his lips, then dies. He sighs, the sound of a man caught but not sorry. It is not what you think, it is exactly what I think. She slides the prenup across the table, the one he insisted on to protect the assets. Page 7, Clause 4. In the event of divorce, she receives a one-time payment of $25,000 and no claim to the house, the investments, the retirement accounts. I have to go, he says, grabbing a suitcase from the hall closet. We'll talk when you're calmer. Calmer. The word ignites her. She watches him pack silk ties and cufflinks while she stands in the doorway, barefoot, wearing the same yoga outfit now stained with mascara. By morning, the Tesla is gone. The safe is empty. The joint account shows a balance of $43.12. The college fund she contributed to for a decade, drained, transferred to an account in Haiti, his name only. She opens the kitchen junk drawer, pulls out the eviction notice the bank mailed last week. She thought it was a mistake. It's dated tomorrow. The house is in his name. She was never added to the deed. The kids tumble in asking for pancakes. She smiles, the expression foreign on her face. Mommy S got a new recipe, she says, voice bright, heart shattered into 1,000 sharp pieces. She flips the pancakes while scrolling real estate listings on her phone. Studio apartments, shared houses, a women's shelter with a 6-month wait list. The smoke detector shrieks. The pancakes burn black. She turns off the stove, sinks to the floor, and lets the tears come. The kids watch, confused, as their perfect world tilts on its axis. Outside, the sprinklers hiss against the manicured lawn. Inside, a woman who once planned charity galas and PTA fundraisers stares at $43 and wonders how to feed 3 mouths for a month. The prenup sits on the counter like a death sentence. She traces the gold embossed signature, hers, inked 10 years ago when love felt bulletproof. She doesn't know it yet, but this moment, phone on the floor, smoke in the air, eviction notice curling at the edges, is the first page of a story that will end with her name on a Forbes list and his in the rearview mirror. But right now, All she feels is the weight of $43 and the echo of a door slamming shut forever. The pancakes sit charred in the sink, the smell of burnt batter clinging to the air like guilt. She wipes the counters with mechanical swipes, the sponge shredding under her grip. The kids hover in the doorway, eyes wide, sensing the shift in gravity. She forces a smile, the kind that hurts the cheeks, and herds them upstairs to pack overnight bags. "We're having a sleepover at Aunt Lisa's," she says, voice pitched high and brittle. The Tesla S empty spot in the garage mocks her as she loads the minivan with laundry baskets of clothes, the dog S bed, and a single box of photo albums she refuses to leave behind. The eviction notice flutters on the passenger seat, red stamp screaming, "Final notice." She drives the familiar route to her sister S house on autopilot, the radio off, the silence thick with unsaid fears. Lisa opens the door in pajama shorts, coffee breath, and shock. The basement is unfinished concrete, a single bulb swinging from the ceiling, an air mattress deflated in the corner. Lisa S. kids peek from the stairs, whispering. She unloads the minivan in 3 trips, the dog whining at the unfamiliar smells. The air mattress inflates with a sad wheeze. She tucks the kids in with blankets that smell like mothballs and tells them stories until their breathing evens out. At 2:17 a.m., she sits on the cold floor, laptop balanced on a cardboard box. The screen glows blue on her tear-streaked face. She opens the joint checking account one last time. $43.12. She screenshots it, then closes the tab. The credit card statements arrive by email, one after another, like punches. $12,000 at a casino in Vegas, $8,000 on private jets, a charge for a penthouse suite the night their youngest was born. She applies for food stamps online, fingers shaking over the keyboard. The form asks for household income, 0. Assets, 0. She uploads the eviction notice, the divorce papers still unsigned, the bank statement with the red negative balance. The confirmation page loads, processing time 4 to 6 weeks. Morning comes gray and relentless. She drives the kids to school in Lisa S. borrowed sedan, the gas gauge kissing empty. The school parking lot is a sea of luxury SUVs. Moms in Lululemon wave. She parks at the far end, hood up, sunglasses hiding the swollen eyes. A text from him pings. "Need the kids' social security cards for the new health insurance." She deletes it. Job applications become her new religion. 64 in the first week. Marketing coordinator, social media manager, executive assistant. The rejections trickle in. "Thank you for your interest, but we're moving forward with candidates who..." The gap on her resume glares like a neon sign. 10 years of playdates and bake sales translated to nothing in corporate speak. The basement becomes a cave. She tapes blackout curtains over the single window. The air mattress leaks. She wakes with her hip on concrete. The dog chews the corner of a box labeled holiday decorations. She finds a lease agreement inside, signed by him alone, for a condo downtown in the mistress's name. The rent is $3,000 a month. Lisa leaves a plate of lasagna outside the door each night. She eats 3 bites and pushes it away. The kids ask why Daddy isn't he coming back. She says he is on a work trip, the lie tasting like ash. One Thursday, the electricity flickers. Lisa S. bill is overdue. The basement runs on the same meter. She sells her wedding ring at a pawn shop for $400. The clerk weighs it on a tiny scale, offers half. She takes it. The money buys groceries and a prepaid phone plan. She starts walking the neighborhood at dawn, resume in hand, knocking on doors of small businesses. A bakery needs a sign. A boutique wants Instagram posts. She offers to work for exposure. They laugh. She doesn't tea. The eviction notice expires. Movers come for the furniture she no longer owns. She watches from Lisa S. porch as the grand piano is loaded onto a truck, the one she learned to play on as a child, inherited from her grandmother. The movers tape a sold sticker across the lid. That night, she opens a blank document on the laptop. The cursor blinks. She types, "Day 1," then deletes it, types again, "I will not let him win," She saves the file as rebuild. The battery dies at 3%. She plugs it into the wall with an extension cord snaking up the stairs. The kids fall asleep to the hum of the dehumidifier. She stares at the concrete ceiling, counting cracks like constellations. $43, 2 suitcases, a dog with anxiety, a sister who can afford another mouth to feed. She closes the laptop. The darkness is absolute. She whispers into it, voice raw but steady. This is the bottom. The only way left is up. The dehumidifier clicks off at 3:07 a.m., leaving a sudden vacuum of silence. She sits cross-legged on the air mattress, laptop balanced on a flattened Amazon box. The cord stretched like a lifeline to the outlet upstairs. The screensaver times out. The room drops into black. She fumbles for the phone, its cracked screen glowing 3:08. A push notification slides down. How I made 1,200 in one weekend flipping thrift store finds. The thumbnail shows a smiling woman holding a vintage lamp. She thumbs the play button. The volume is low, tinny through the speaker, but the woman-esque voice cuts through the concrete chill. You don't need a degree. You need hustle. She pauses the video at 3:12. The woman on screen is 26. No kids, no eviction notice taped to a basement wall. Still, something lodges behind her ribs. She opens YouTube, types free graphic design course. The first result is a 2-hour beginner Canva tutorial. She clicks. The instructor S-cursor dances across a blank artboard, turning rectangles into logos in 90 seconds. She mirrors every click on her own cracked trackpad. The first logo is lopsided, the colors clash, but it exists. She exports the PNG and stares at it until the battery warning flashes red. Morning arrives with the thud of Lisa S. kids overhead. She folds the air mattress, stuffs it behind the water heater, and sets up a folding table scavenged from the garage. The dog curls underneath, tail thumping against a box of old tax returns. She brews instant coffee in a chipped mug that says, World's Best Mom in faded script. The kids eat cereal on the stairs because the basement has no chairs. She kisses their foreheads, walks them to the bus stop, then races back to the table. Fiverr loads slowly on the neighbor's borrowed Wi-Fi. She creates a gig, Simple Logo Design 5. The profile photo is a selfie cropped from a family beach trip 2 years ago, before everything. She writes the description in one breath. Fast, clean, professional, unlimited revisions. The first order pings at 11:43 a.m. A food truck owner needs a taco icon. She delivers 3 options in 47 minutes. The review pops up before dinner. 5 stars, amazing work, lightning fast. She screenshots it, prints it on Lisa S. ancient printer, and tapes it to the concrete wall above the table. The second order comes at midnight, a podcast cover. She stays up until the dog whines to go out. The client tips an extra $3. $8 total in the PayPal account. She transfers it to the prepaid debit card and buys a 7.99 Canva Pro trial. The upgraded templates feel like cheating. She sets an alarm for 4:30 a.m. every day. The house is still asleep when she opens cold email templates. Subject line, I'll grow your Instagram for 50 month. She personalizes 50. 3 bounce. 2 reply, no budget. 1 says yes, a local florist with 312 followers. She schedules posts, designs floral carousels, writes captions that smell like peonies. The florist's engagement doubles in a week. The client sends a 25 bonus and a photo of the storefront with a new chalkboard sign. Social media by her name. She prints that too. The concrete wall becomes a gallery of tiny victories. The dog learns to lie still while she works, chin on her foot. She buys a 12-desk lamp from the dollar store. The bulb flickers, but it is hers. Month 1 ends with 312 in the PayPal. She spends 100 on groceries, 50 on gas, 162 on a used Wacom tablet from Facebook Marketplace. The seller throws in a cracked stylus for free. She teaches herself Adobe Illustrator through YouTube, pausing every 30 seconds to take notes on the back of the eviction notice. The red stamp becomes a doodle of a phoenix. The kids notice the shift. They stop asking when daddy is coming home. Instead, they ask to see Mommy-S pictures. She shows them the florist posts glowing on the screen. The youngest traces the petals with a sticky finger. Pretty, he says. She saves the moment in her phone, a new kind of family photo. At night, she lies on the air mattress, earbuds in, listening to marketing podcasts at 1.5x speed. Words like funnel, conversion, evergreen settle into her dreams. She wakes with ideas scribbled on the back of her hand in smudged ink. The eviction notice stays in the drawer now, folded small, edges soft from handling. The concrete wall holds 12 printouts. The PayPal balance reads 1,187. She opens a new spreadsheet, titles it Freedom Fund, and watches the cells fill $1 at a time. The spreadsheet labeled Freedom Fund hits 1 out 800 on a Tuesday in late October. She transfers 1,200 to Lisa with a Venmo note that simply says, "Rent groceries, thank you." The remaining 600 buys a secondhand IKEA desk and a 29 chair with one wobbly leg. She wedges a folded sock under the short leg and calls it ergonomic. The basement corner now has borders, desk, lamp, tablet, a stack of library books on SEO and copywriting. The dog claims the rug she found curbside. Washed 3 times in Lisa S. machine until the mildew smell surrendered. She sets the alarm for 4:45 a.m. The house still smells of sleep when she tiptoes upstairs, starts the coffee pot on its lowest setting, and carries the mug downstairs like contraband. The kids wake at 6:30. She has exactly 1 hour and 45 minutes of silence. She uses every second. Client emails first, then content calendars, then design revisions. By 6:25, the florist has 12 scheduled posts. The food truck has a new menu graphic, and a boutique owner has a carousel ready to launch. School drop-off is a relay. She kisses cheeks, signs permission slips, and races back before the bus rounds the corner. The wobbly chair creaks under 8 straight hours. She invoices at lunch peanut butter on rice cakes because it is quiet to eat. The PayPal chime becomes her heartbeat. 75, 120, 45. She screenshots each one, adds the amounts to the spreadsheet, watches the Freedom Fund climb like a slow green vine. Evenings belong to courses. She finishes the Canva Mastery, starts Shopify Fundamentals, then Google Analytics. Each certificate downloads as a PDF. She prints them in black and white at the library for 10 cents a page and pins them above the desk. The concrete wall is half covered now. Reviews, invoices, certificates. A post-it that reads 3K by Christmas. Month 4. The florist refers a friend who owns a candle company. The candle woman wants a full brand kit logo, labels, website mock-up for 1,200. She quotes 1,500 and holds her breath. The reply comes in 6 minutes. Deal. Half up front. The 750 hits PayPal at 2:14 a.m. She stares at the notification until the screen dims, then opens a new tab and searches apartments under 1,200. She finds a 2-bedroom above a laundromat, peeling paint, but its own entrance. The landlord wants first, last, and security. 3,600 total. The Freedom Fund sits at 3,412. She negotiates. 1,200 down, the rest in 30 days. He agrees. She signs the lease with a pen that skips, her hands steady for the first time in months. Moving day is a Saturday. Lisa S. minivan makes 4 trips. The kids carry their own backpacks. The dog rides shotgun with his head out the window. The new apartment smells of lemon cleaner and possibility. She hangs the concrete wall printouts on a nail above the kitchen table. The wobbly chair comes too. The sock is now permanent. Night 1 in the apartment, the kids fall asleep in bunk beds she assembled with YouTube and swear words. She stays up until the streetlights dim, building the candle brand. The logo is midnight blue with gold foil accents. The labels printed as shop for 180. She mails the USB drive with a handwritten thank you. The client pays the final 750 plus a 200 bonus for blowing my mind. December arrives with snow against the windows. Recurring clients hit 20. Monthly retainers total 3,200. She raises rates. Logos now start at 250. Social management at 400. Half the old clients leave. The other half pay without blinking. New inquiries replace the losses in 48 hours. She hires a part-time editor for 15 an hour, pays her through PayPal, teaches her the systems in a shared Google Doc. The Freedom Fund crosses 10,000. She opens a high-yield savings account, transfers $8,000, leaves $2,000 as operating cash. The eviction notice, now soft as cloth, moves to a shoebox under the bunk bed. She adds a new post-it to the wall, 30K by summer. She wakes before the alarm now, the habit carved deep. The apartment is quiet, except for the hum of the refrigerator and the soft snore of the dog. She opens the laptop, checks overnight analytics, answers 2 client Slack messages, then starts the coffee. The kids shuffle in, hair wild, asking for cocoa. She pours 2 mugs, adds extra marshmallows, and for the first time in a year, the day feels like hers to shape. The cocoa steam curls between her and the kids on a January morning when the apartment radiator clanks like a metronome. The laptop sits open on the kitchen table, inbox glowing with 23 unread messages. One subject line stands out in bold: "Can you build my online store?" The sender is the candle client, the one who paid the 200 bonus. She wants to sell nationwide, needs a Shopify site, needs it live in 14 days before a Valentine's pop-up. The quoted price, $6,000. She stares at the number until the screen blurs. Shopify Fundamental Certificate is still warm from the printer, ink barely dry. She replies yes before doubt can type no. The contract uploads, e-signature scribbled with the trackpad at 2:17 a.m. The $3,000 deposit lands at 2:19. She clears the kitchen table, pushes the bunk beds against the wall, and turns the living room into a war room. Whiteboard markers squeak across the sliding glass door. Wireframes, product SKUs, shipping zones. The kids color on the floor while she watches Shopify YouTube at 2x speed, pausing to screenshot every setting. She installs a free theme, customizes the header until the candle logo gleams like real gold foil. Day 3, the photographer friend from Fiverr Days offers to shoot product photos for $400 and a lifetime supply of candles. She wires the money, meets at a park with seamless white paper and ring lights borrowed from Lisa. 200 images download by sunset. She edits until the kids' bedtime, then edits more. Day 7, the payment gateway connects. Test order, 1 lavender candle to her own address. The confirmation email arrives at 11:43 p.m. She refreshes the admin dashboard obsessively. Day 10, the client approves the staging link with heart emojis and all caps. Launch tomorrow. Valentine's launch day, she wakes at 4 a.m., hits publish, and watches the first real order roll in at 4:03, a 3-wick set to Portland. By 9 a.m., the site has 2,100 in sales. By noon, 4,800. By midnight, 6,200. The client calls crying happy tears, wires the final 3,000 plus a 1,000 early launch bonus. The apartment smells like burnt coffee and victory. She screenshots the Shopify Analytics 6,200 in one day and adds it to the wall above the table. The corkboard is full now. She starts a second row. The candle client brags in a Facebook group for women entrepreneurs. 3 messages slide into her inbox that same week. Saw your work. Can you do mine? She quotes 8,000 each. All 3 say yes. She raises the deposit to $60. The Freedom Fund jumps 14,400 in wire transfers. She opens a new Google Doc titled Store in a Box. Step-by-step screenshots, video loom recordings, email swipe copy. She records herself building a dummy store from scratch, voice calm, clicks deliberate. The course outline grows to 30 modules. She prices it at $97, writes sales copy on the subway ride to the library printer. Launch day for the course. She posts the link in the same Facebook group at 8 a.m. By 8:15, the first sale pings. By noon, 127 sales. By midnight, 423. The Stripe dashboard shows 4130 Verd 1. She refreshes until the numbers stop moving. She hires the part-time editor full-time, adds a customer support VA in the Philippines for $4 an hour. The apartment becomes headquarters. Shipping labels printed on the kitchen counter, ring light clamped to the bunk bed. The dog learns to ignore the constant ping of Slack notifications. She quits one-off gigs cold. No more 250 logos. The inbox rule auto-replies. currently accepting high-ticket consulting only. The first 5,000 funnel audit books within hours. She flies to Denver coach ticket, paid in points to present findings in person. The client signs a 25,000 retainer on the spot. The Freedom Fund crosses 100,000ers. She moves 80,000 to a business checking account, pays herself 4,000 monthly salary, and wires Lisa 10,000 with the note for the basement. Forever grateful. The corkboard wall now holds airplane boarding passes, Stripe receipts, a framed screenshot of the course leaderboard. The kids fall asleep to the soft click of her mechanical keyboard. She closes the laptop at 1 a.m., the glow of the Shopify dashboard still burned into her retinas. The apartment is small, the radiator still clanks, but every square foot hums with momentum. The 25,000 Denver retainer lands on a Monday in March. The same week, the apartment lease hits its one-year mark. She wakes to the radiator-esque familiar clank, but the sound feels different now, like a starter pistol. The business account balance reads 187,032. She screenshots it, adds it to the corkboard-esque third row, and books a WeWork day pass downtown. The hot desk smells of oat milk and ambition. She records a podcast interview on her phone. Voice steady, numbers crisp, from basement to seven figures in 24 months. The host asks for proof. She airdrops the Stripe dashboard. The episode drops Friday and climbs to 3 in entrepreneurship charts. The course waitlist swells to 4,200. She raises the price to 297, adds live QA calls, and watches conversion rates hold at 9. Monthly recurring revenue from consulting retainers hits 42,000. She incorporates as an LLC, files for an EIN, and hires a bookkeeper who charges 400 a month but saves her 10 hours of headaches. The VA team grows to 6, 2 support, 1 ads manager, 1 copywriter, 1 designer. Slack channels multiply like cells. April brings the first speaking gig, a women-esque conference in Austin. The organizer offers 5,000 plus travel. She counters at 15,000. They pay. She flies first class on miles, lands to a green room with her name on the door. The talk is titled, From Eviction Notice to 8 Figures. The ballroom holds 800. She walks on stage in a blazer bought off the rack at Target, hemmed with fabric tape. The slides are clean, the story's raw. The audience gives a standing ovation at minute 19. Bookings flood in. Chicago, Miami, London. She caps at 1 per quarter, 25,000 each. May, the software idea crystallizes. Clients keep asking for the same email sequences. She white labels a drag and drop automation tool, codes the MVP with the developer in Pakistan for 12,000 upfront and revenue share. Beta launches to course alumni at 49 month. Day 1 signups, 312. Recurring revenue jumps 15,000 to 288. She names it FlowForge and registers the trademark the same week. June, Forbes emails. The reporter wants a 30 under 30 feature. She sends profit and loss statements, tax returns, the original eviction notice scanned in high res. The article publishes July 1st with the headline, She Turned Betrayal into a 9M Empire. The corkboard gains a glossy tear sheet. Former high school friends resurface in DMs with heart emojis and vague lunch invites. She leaves them on read. July, the modest house closes. 4 bedrooms, half-acre lot, cash offer, no contingencies. The kids pick paint colors while the dog christens the backyard. She hangs the corkboard in the new office, a sunlit room with built-in shelves. The eviction notice sits framed in matte black. Red stamp, now a badge. August, the X surfaces. A LinkedIn request pings at 2:03 a.m. Congrats on the feature. Coffee sometime? She screenshots, adds it to a folder labeled Receipts, and declines. Child support payments. Arrive late again. Her lawyer files a motion the next morning. September, FlowForge crosses 1,100 paying users. Monthly recurring hits 51,320. Agency revenue tops 1.4 million for the year. She hosts the first team retreat in the new house. Catered tacos, vision boarding, a slide deck that ends on a single number 3M run rate. The VAs fly in from Manila and Atlanta. The kids serve lemonade in mason jars. October, the second course launches, scaled to 7 figures, priced at $1,997. It sells 312 seats in pre-sale. Revenue, 682,764. She pays off Lisa S. mortgage with a cashier S check slipped into a birthday card. Lisa cries in the driveway. November, private school deposits clear for both kids. She buys the SUV outright. Magnetic sign on the door. Powered by Flowforge. The agency moves to a loft downtown. She keeps the home office for deep work. The team swells to 12. December, the accountant runs the final numbers. Total revenue, 2.8 million. Profit, 1.9 million. Net worth, including house and software valuation, 6.2 year and climbing. She wires a bonus to every team member, 6 figures total. The corkboard is retired to the attic, replaced by a 75-inch monitor cycling live dashboards. She stands on the back deck at midnight, snow dusting the grass, the dog snoring inside. The eviction notice, the $43, the air mattress all feel like another lifetime. The numbers on the screen are real, earned, hers. She closes the laptop and lets the quiet settle. Snow melts into spring, and the house on the half-acre lot fills with the smell of fresh paint and possibility. The office monitor cycles through live dashboards. Flowforge at 4,200 paying users. Agency retainers at 178,000 monthly. Course alumni community at 12,000 strong. She wakes without an alarm, sunlight striping the hardwood through plantation shutters she installed herself. The dog thumps his tail against the kitchen island, where the kids eat blueberry pancakes she flips with a wrist flick perfected over Sunday practice. The accountant schedules the year-end call for a Thursday in April. She pours coffee into the same chipped World's Best Mom mug, now a relic displayed on a shelf beside a Webby Award for Flowforge. The Zoom screen shares numbers in neat columns. Total revenue, 12.4 million. Profit, 8.9 million. Liquid cash, 4.2 million. Software valuation, 25 million after the Series seed round closed last month. Net worth, conservative estimate, 32 million. She nods once, thanks the team, and ends the call. She opens the safe built into the office closet, the same model he once hid a second phone in, and pulls out the original prenup. The paper is yellowed, the gold embossed signatures faded. She carries it to the backyard fire pit, strikes a match, and watches the claws that once left her with 25,000 curl into black lace. The ashes drift upward like tiny dark birds. The kids roast marshmallows over the embers, unaware of the symbolism, giggling when the flames tickle their sticks. May brings the school play. She sits front row in a linen dress that costs less than his monthly car lease. The ex arrives late, tie askew, sliding into a seat 3 rows back. The curtain rises on their daughter as the lead narrator, voice clear, costume sparkling under lights funded by the PTO donation she made anonymously. When the final bow comes, the kids sprint straight to her arms. She lifts the youngest onto her hip, feels the daughter's hand slip into hers. Over their heads, she meets his eyes for the first time in 5 years. He looks smaller, shoulders rounded, the confident stride replaced by a shuffle. She offers a polite nod, nothing more, and turns away. June, the Forbes cover arrives in the mail. She S on the subscriber edition, arms crossed, standing in front of the loft office mural that reads, "Build Anyway." The headline, "The 32M Comeback." Inside, a sidebar compares their trajectories. Her net worth ascending like a rocket. His now negative 42,000 after a failed crypto scheme and back child support. The magazine joins the corkboard relics in the attic, but she keeps one copy on the coffee table for the kids to flip through when friends visit. July, she funds the college accounts in full, 250,000 each, invested in index funds projected to hit 7 figures by graduation. She adds a third account labeled World Travel and drops in 100,000. The kids pick the first destination, Japan for cherry blossom season. She books the tickets, the seats, same day. August, the team retreat moves to a lakeside lodge. 20 employees now, plus spouses and kids. She rents the entire property, hires a chef, sets up a bounce house on the dock. On the final night, she gathers everyone around the fire and hands out envelopes. Each contains a profit share check, 6 figures for the earliest hires, 5 for the newest. The bookkeeper cries into her S more. September, she launches the Scholarship Fund, 1 million endowment for single mothers studying business or tech. The application portal goes live on the 5-year anniversary of the eviction notice. The first recipient is a woman from her old PTA, the one who once lent her a casserole dish during the basement months. October, the SUV gets a new magnetic sign. Mom, founder, unstoppable. She drives the kids to soccer in it, windows down, playlist blaring songs they all know by heart. November, she hosts Thanksgiving in the dining room that seats 20. Lisa brings the green bean casserole, eyes shining every time she looks at the chandelier. The table is loud with the laughter, second helpings, pie crust crumbs on the hardwood. December, the final dashboard of the year flashes across the 75-inch monitor. 44 million run rate, 9,000 Flowforge users. Agency pipeline at 2.1 million for Q1. She powers it down at 11:58 p.m., walks to the kitchen, and pours 2 fingers of the good whiskey she bought after the seed round. The house is quiet, the kids asleep under blankets she tucked with care. She steps onto the deck. The night air is crisp, stars sharp overhead. Somewhere across town, he leases a 1-bedroom and eats takeout alone. Here, the backyard fire pit glows with the last embers of a log she split herself. She raises the glass to the sky, to the woman who once had $43 and a broken heart, and speaks the words she never says out loud. I won. The whiskey burns sweet on her tongue. The stars keep shining. The dog sighs in his sleep inside. The numbers are final, the story complete, the future wide open and entirely hers.